broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
All right.
Woohoo!
Hello. We're back. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of our podcast for Shameless Season 5, Episode 3. If you're back, that means you like us and you're keeping up with us and catching up and watching with us and talking about it. If you're finding us for the first time, go ahead and subscribe so that every time you log into YouTube, you'll see that we have a new episode every week. So you guys can talk with us about the show every week, which is fun because we do interact with you guys on YouTube. I personally like to kind of take time and read the comments and you know, we all do that. We interact with each other on Twitter and stuff too. Speaking of which, my name is Joyce. I'll be your host for tonight. You can catch me on Twitter after the show at JJ Ajouri. That's Jajouri. And I'm joined with my lovely host, here on the panel. I've got JJ next to me.
Hi guys, I'm JJ Jurgens, and you can follow me at JJ Jurgens.
And Hayley.
Hello everyone, I'm Hayley Clover. You can follow me on Twitter at Hayley Clover.
And Drea, hi.
Hey guys, so glad to be back. You can follow me at Drea Renee _N.
Nice.
So glad everybody's here tonight.
We finally have a full panel.
Girls Club.
Girls Club. So we're going to talk about all those hot guys in this episode.
We are.
This show has a ton. Sorry, Sean. We're gonna do it. Be girly.
Chat away. I'll just keep listening.
Shad's our engineer.
Sean
in
secretly
the booth,
thinks they're hot too.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen any of them, but I'll agree with you.
Don't worry.
Don't worry. You'll get good visuals.
Yeah. Well, before we start talking about all the storylines and stuff, what do you think of the episode so far? I mean, tonight.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
It was so good.
Yeah. So many good storylines, so much fun. It was, definitely. It gets to the end, and I was like, no, I want more. You know.
Yeah.
I'm still shocked that I get amazed at Shameless. I'm like, are they serious? Are they really doing this? Oh my god!
Yeah.
And they're doing it. Yeah, every season.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I haven't been disappointed with the show yet.
Never.
I don't think there's one. I mean, there's certain series that I watched that you're kind of like, oh, there wasn't too much going on with that show, but I haven't really felt that way with Shameless.
I agree.
Which is awesome.
Everyone asks me, do you actually like the show? And I'm like, I've watched it since the beginning. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I've never been let down. And this episode specifically had everything. It had drama, romance, it had action. Yeah. We had a huge fight scene at the end, which was funny and sad at the same time. But we'll get to that later. Yes. Speaking of drama, the first thing I want to touch up on is Mandy. Mickey's sister, the one that Lip had a whole thing with for a very long time. Yes. We know that she's been with this boyfriend of hers named Kenyatta, and
good name.
It's such a unique name. I almost forget it every time. I mean, we don't see much of him, but we know he's been abusive to her, and Lip knows this. Everyone sees this happen, and clearly he's not good for her. And she's not happy with him, but what else is she going to do? She has nowhere to go. Anything other than her house, in her life is pretty much better. But in this episode, Kenyatta basically wants to convince Mandy to leave and move with him to Indiana.
Convince? He told her.
He told her.
We're going.
That's true. No, you're right.
There's no discussion.
Yeah, he's like, girl, you going, bye.
He has a good job to clean porta potties, so he's got to go.
Sounds like there's a lot of growth and future in that
Maybe
position.
he can own the porta potty company. I don't know.
Maybe. That's another story. I don't want her cleaning those, though. Poor girl.
Kenyatta,
can you imagine?
No, that's so sad. And this happens in Mandy's house where Ian is at, because Ian's cleaning up the house with Mickey, or cleaning the house without Mickey.
I know.
But he overhears Kenyatta tell Mandy, we're going to Indiana. You have a good job out there. And she's like, clearly she doesn't want to go. But again,
she's nothing else.
What else is she going to do? I mean,
I hate when Ian says in the episode, oh, she's a poor girl. She doesn't think she deserves better, about this relationship, which was sad. It was kind of,
And that's what made him want to, tell Lip. And he basically went to Lip and he was like, here's what's happening. Kenyatta basically told Mandy that they're leaving. And if you don't try to keep her to stay, because Ian knows how Mandy feels about her.
I mean,
about him.
and we saw tonight
It was heartbreaking.
It was, yeah, so tough to watch.
I can't.
Because as much as their relationship has experienced so many hard hits, we know that they're perfect for each other.
Yeah.
They work.
Right.
They just work.
work.
So Ian tells Lip to try to basically what Lip told Ian about her. He's like, she's great, she's smart, she doesn't deserve this. And Ian's like, why don't you go tell her that? Because maybe that's all she needs to hear to basically just separate herself from what she's doing, from her life.
It wasn't all she needed to hear, though.
Yeah, I know.
But you know, when it comes down to it, she was looking for an emotional connection, which is why they had that moment. And he's thinking, I'm just going to poke and go. And he's like, you going to stay, right? And she's like, no.
Yeah, his intention was to go in there,
lay it down,
you know, have sex with her, and then tell her how he sees her. But little does he know that just telling a girl that isn't going to be
because she knows
enough.
him enough. And she's like, let's look outside of this. Except for we're in the bedroom together all the time. And what am I going to do with that?
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's what was crushing for me for her this time. Because it was just like, you know, for once we really see her. Because before, sometimes she can be kind of flippant and act like she doesn't care or whatever. But it was clear she really wanted to hear those words back. And those words were what she needed to make a decision to, I think she would have stayed. But then when he couldn't do it, to her, it was just like, yeah, this is just what it's always been. He's just back. He clearly loves Amanda more. He's, you know, when she started asking questions about the girlfriend, you know.
I don't think that's the case, though.
I don't know that it is either, but I think in her mind, if he's saying, you know, he
can't
could
say it.
Yeah, he can't.
He definitely just can't say I love you. I mean, nobody in their family ever says that.
true.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not like they've ever had someone tell them that. I just think he can't physically tell a girl that. I don't think he wants to have those feelings with anyone.
I agree.
I guess that's as close as he could get to having those feelings. I mean, that just killed me. And this long, dramatic pause, and she's like, hello.
Yeah.
And I think when he didn't say it, she's like, fuck it, I'm leaving. All right, I'm leaving.
But she was so sad when he left the room and she was on the bed just like trying to hold it in until he could. You knew just as soon as he left, the tears were coming. You know, she was just trying to keep on that strong face.
But that was his way of trying to make it up when he was like, oh, let's have breakfast
Yeah.
tomorrow. Of like, I know I
Yeah.
didn't say it, but you're just not sex.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay.
I think
right.
For watching that whole scene where he was telling her like, you're so smart, you're pretty, you're amazing, do you know this? And like part of me was thinking she was gonna be like, shut the hell up, like what are you doing right now? Because it's not something we hear from Lip ever. We don't hear this tone of him, this side of him. So to hear that, even to me, I was like,
it was kind of awkward.
It doesn't sound convincing. It was a little awkward.
I thought the complete opposite.
Really?
Yeah. When I watched that, I thought, well, first of all, I thought his acting was amazing. You could see his tears coming. He was kind of tearing up. And I that was the first time I really felt connected to Lip. I love him as a character. I think he's so funny. But that was the first time I like couldn't take my eyes off of what I was watching. I was just like really emotionally invested.
No, totally. But I feel like even though he feels this way about her, we know he thinks the world of Mandy. I mean, she helped him through so much. Even though she, you know, hit Karen with the car. It's fine.
Oh my God,
that's in the past. They've come over that.
So awkward.
I know. Way to bring that up.
Love will make you do crazy things. I get it, buddy.
We know that's really what he thinks about her, right? So to hear him finally say it, which we never hear him say about anybody out loud, like it was hard for me to register. I don't know.
I was feeling disconnected too. I was like, what is happening right now? And I thought she was going to be like, oh, you know I'm leaving, so I know what you're doing, like whatever.
Right.
I thought that was coming too.
And it
You're just saying this because of that.
Yeah. And it added more awkwardness to the situation.
Yes.
But poor Mandy, I mean, I felt bad because maybe Lip, do you guys think Lip would say it? Like he would say it to her?
I think that's as close as he's going to get.
Yeah, I don't think he's saying it either.
Do you think he likes this Mandy more than the other Amanda?
Yeah.
He feels about her more?
She gets him.
Yeah.
You know?
They come from the same lifestyle.
But he also is having those moments where maybe he's wanting to like venture out and experience another side of life, like when he was not smoking with his friends and not going downstairs and you know.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's the constant battle he's been having in last season and this season is between like his new life and his life back home. And I feel like Mandy and Amanda are the two things that are anchoring him in both extremes. Like he can't find a happy middle because neither of them are there. And they're just so different. They're so different from each other.
Yeah.
And they're totally symbolic of his struggle.
Do you think
Yeah,
those two
I
worlds.
definitely don't feel the chemistry with him and Amanda.
No.
Just like at all. Like
Not at all.
Do you think this was their way of writing Mandy out of the show, though, or do you
I
think
was
we're gonna see her?
wondering. I don't know.
I think she'll be back.
Right?
I think she'll be back.
I think she'll
Some
be back. I
point.
mean, we saw her in the previews for next episode, and I feel like maybe she's going to prove that she's not so insane. Like, like she's pretty.
Writing it down, so I won't remember.
Like, part of me at this moment wants to think that Amanda is cool. Like, she's educated. She's she's kind of on the same level as Lip when he's at school and stuff. And I feel like they're gonna jive really well together. So I feel like as an audience, we're gonna have a conflict between like deciding who he's best with.
I don't think so either.
No.
What we see in the show coming up next week, that her family is rich. Like
Yeah.
totally rich. She's in this like crazy awesome like modern house in Miami when he goes to visit, and you can already
That's
tell
true.
Amanda says, "Dad, are you locking up the liquor cabinet because Lip's here?" Like, just you can
Yeah.
already tell that is not going
And
to
I feel
match.
like she's doing that classic thing of like, my boyfriend's so crazy and out of this world. Are you upset?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's true. She did
should
have
back
that
up.
I don't
last
know. I
time.
think she really likes him. I think she really does, and I like the fact that she we see that she stands up to her parents and does and calls them out on their bullshit of doing that. Like
Yeah.
she's not yes, she's rich and she's from that, but to me she doesn't act like that.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't.
I
Have
still think she's
this
just trying to piss her parents off.
yeah.
Well, but regardless of Amanda actually feeling for him, I feel that Lip is not going to want to commit to someone who's in that life.
Yeah.
I mean, she came from
Maybe,
there, and he
I
came
don't
from Southside Chicago. It's not going to be. They're not going to jive in the long run.
It's not going to be an easy transition.
But it's going to be so hard to be like, no, but Amanda's good for you too.
I feel
But
like
I like Mandy.
yeah, I don't know if Lip ever ends up having a strong career and makes a lot of money. The whole family is going to live together wherever he takes them.
Yeah.
Like he might have a big house, but they're all living there.
They're all
Aw.
yeah.
I mean, I'm still torn. I mean, there definitely is the chemistry with him and Mandy, but I gotta say, I'm not completely sold. I
yet,
like
anyway.
when they're together. I mean, she still freaking tried to kill a girl. Like,
I know.
She loves him.
So you're okay with that? You're dating a guy and then he runs over. So
passionate about
there's no
me.
fucking way I'm standing for that. I'm sorry. No, I can't.
She had an experience once. Okay?
I'm like a little crazy. I'm like,
You can have all the craziness. I'm done with the drama like that in my life. I think no. Like, yes, it's great sex, great chemistry, but there
Yes.
comes a point when you don't want that crazy in your
It's
life.
true.
And
I'm not
Fiona hasn't met that yet, I think, but we'll get to Fiona later.
awesome.
But yeah, so Mandy says I love you. That doesn't get reciprocated. Poor Mandy.
Yeah.
And then she ends up leaving at the end to Indiana finally. That
can't
happened so
believe she
quickly.
left.
Yeah.
That happened so quickly.
I know.
They were supposed
Yeah.
to have breakfast, but as he's waiting under the bridge for her to come out, Ian
Hiding
shows
from
up.
Kenyatta.
Exactly. I can't. That name is so unique. I can't really take it seriously.
Oh, girl.
I can't.
Kenyatta.
No
Name
offense to
Kenyatta.
anyone named Kenyatta.
I mean, come on.
IRL. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
So Mandy leaves. Ian basically shows up, and Lip was like, "I tried." And Ian's like, "Yeah, I'm sure you did." Like,
He's like, with your date.
BS.
yeah.
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 How did you try?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was.
I think that's the end of that.
It's the end of that.
Yeah.
It's one piece of drama, and more drama continues on with Veronica and family.
Oh,
This whole
my
crazy
God.
household.
My girl.
Amazing.
I love V.
I mean,
I love her too.
we know that Veronica and Kevin are having a hard time making ends meet, and in this episode we find out that the rub and tug has been busted for the third time and thus has officially closed down.
Yep.
The cops busted them. They no longer have that income, which is
I totally forgot they were part of that thing.
yeah.
You know what? I totally
I did too.
At
I'm
the
like,
start,
why
I
y'all
did
care?
too tonight. I was like,
Wait,
oh
what?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. They're renting the
they're
room.
renting it
and,
out,
yeah.
and that's no
Right.
more. So, basically, we know that Veronica needs to find a new way of income, and she's been struggling with the fact that she's been struggling with taking care of the kids and balancing work and missing Kevin and wanting him back the way they were, but it's not like that anymore because they've got 2 kids, 3 if you're counting V's mom's love child.
So
with Kevin.
awkward. I'm like, what do you tell that child when they grow up? Like, it's so sad to me. Whatever.
And we know that V is not breastfeeding her kids as much as she should anymore. And she's not pumping enough either. She's not pumping much because she's not feeding them as much. So her brilliant idea was to find out who in the neighborhood is still breastfeeding and basically having them come in and pump breast milk, but not for her babies, but to sell.
You can blame her mom for that one, though. That's
true.
Mom. That mom always comes in, drops little bombs.
That's true.
You know. Oh, by the way, I saw it on, what was it, Dr. Phil or
Dr.
Oz? Yeah.
Exactly. $2 an ounce. Her suggestion was for V to buy the breast milk, but V's like, I can't afford that.
Right.
And then that's when the light bulb went on, and she was like, we should hold that sort of breast milk sweatshop in our house. We'll have ladies upstairs.
Oh my God. And they're having one. They're actually doing it. I can't believe it.
The best is when she has to pour the one out because she's like, no, it has to be a clean bottle of milk because
she was using drugs.
Yeah, exactly. She has an IV.
She's like pumping and shooting up.
Yeah, let's keep in mind these women are not like, clean baby mamas.
Milk.
These are girls that probably got knocked up and they're druggies.
They don't even know where their babies are.
No. But, they're selling the milk. They're hopefully getting, they're probably getting some. I don't know if they started selling them yet.
No, I think they're
just bottling them.
It started.
At least it's a legal venture for them this time.
It's not shady.
No,
they're not stealing.
Yeah.
Well, kind of, but not really.
Not really.
I hope they have some sort of contractual agreement between the baby mamas.
They probably don't, girl. Like, give me your milk.
Those ladies don't care. The one fell asleep. And she was like, I am not paying you to sleep.
That's true. So we have V running this breast milk sweatshop, and Kev is like, what the hell's going on? Because V is so concerned about getting the milk pumped and selling these these bottles of milk so that babies all over the place can be fed. And
Except for hers.
Kev comes in and he's like, You're worried about feeding all these other babies except for your own. Yeah. And that's when I think she just stepped back for a second. She's like, what am I doing? At least the look on her face told me that.
Yeah.
And I like to think that V is, she knows what she's doing isn't, in the best interest of her children, but she's the one that's trying to like make ends meet. And I think she's also having a hard time coming to terms with the fact that she's a mom and things aren't the way they were and it's not going as well as she planned.
I like that this storyline's so realistic of what happens when you have kids and they're not making it that where V and Kev are like perfect and it's like all happy. Like it's really hard.
They thought they were
gets diverted.
Yeah.
And it's like this is what really happens.
Well, she never really wanted to be a mom. She was doing it for Kev. So
oh my God, that's right.
She,
that's true.
It's going to be hard for her to ever come to terms, I think, with being a mom because she wanted to have that, not single life, but just with her and Kev and being able to do whatever they wanted. I mean, it's not like they can film their sex shows anymore.
I know. That's true.
Like that life is done. So,
but I think also she's disappointed that she doesn't have that maternal instinct that's supposed to come naturally. Like it's not present for her, and that's why she wanted Kev to fail at taking care of the kids, so she could kind of feel like, oh, okay, she's not alone. It's not just her, but it is.
Because he's kicking it up big time.
Yeah. And I think tonight we saw also when he yelled at her too. She's not used to that. Like I think that feeling of him actually, being mad and disappointed in her, and was frustrating.
It's just them.
You're right. He never really burst out like that before.
He is so sexy.
Can we talk about his shaved head?
Especially with the kids.
Yes.
Can we talk about a shaved head? I love bald men, okay? I love bald men, and I also love bad men with beards.
Shout out to bald men from Joyce.
But he looks so good with a shaved head.
Yes,
I have to say. Pigtail braids and all. Like, I'm down with Steve Howey.
I didn't mind the original man bun because that's totally in right now, and I liked the man bun, but then it got like way too long.
It was too long.
It
was.
It was really frizzy at one point.
Yeah. Last week it was really long.
Bad.
Really,
It's like put it up or something.
Yeah. Were you surprised we didn't see Svetlana come back?
Yeah.
Why don't we talked about that last week?
She was in a lot of the episode last week, so I thought she might.
Well, she was pregnant in real life, so maybe she gave birth at that time.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we talked about that. I think in the first episode, she was pregnant in real life, so they wrote it into the show.
Oh my God!
And Carl's leg is actually broken, so they wrote it into the show.
That's why he's in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And that's how good those writers are.
Yes.
In this case, our
natural
life.
Yes. So natural.
Yeah. So I guess that's kind of it for V and
Speaking of her,
Kev.
though, gotta say real quick though, I did like when Ian called her the guest womb. That was one of my favorites of the night. I was like, clever.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was really funny.
Oh my god.
Well, one person we certainly don't want having babies is Debs.
Oh, Debs.
Which today,
What is she doing?
she lost her V card.
What a
finally.
storyline that was.
I know.
Can we count it as losing her V card
Can
if she?
No.
I
I
don't-
mean, technically, medically.
Well, yeah.
Medically, yes. But
You know.
it didn't go as maybe she expected.
This is one of those things though, that I love about this show because it's so wrong. I mean, to of course date rape anybody, but of course, like for us, I mean, we have to admit, like we're like, oh my god, if that was a guy, we'd be furious right now. Like,
but now we're over
she
here
can't believe
chuckling
he-
and I'm
and we were like, yeah, and then we're like, oh, we're like, no, that's not
true.
okay.
It's not
That's
okay.
reverse. It's not okay that she did that to
and
him.
I'm glad they portrayed that in
yes,
Maddie.
yeah.
I'm glad that Maddie was like, this is, you statutory raped yourself. Like, I could go to jail. This is not okay just because she initiated it.
Only picture that.
And just because she took advantage of him, this dainty 13-year-old girl, it doesn't matter. Like, it's still so wrong.
I knew it was
is.
gonna
I mean,
happen.
I know,
was
she-
sitting there and I was like, she's gonna rape him. She's gonna rape him. I know it. She's gonna rape him.
The second he got woozy, and then you know, and everybody else is making it, it's like, oh no,
Oh my gosh.
no, here
It's
she
crazy.
goes.
But the events leading up to it was Carl comes in and basically tells Debs that he was invited to Holly and Ellie's party, and she's like, what the hell? She's like, that's not fair. I'm gonna have my own party with adult beverages and older people.
17 over only.
Yeah.
And Carl's got 6 hickeys on his neck.
Oh, yeah.
What a badass.
I'm having a hard time with them and this sexuality stuff. I'm like, can we slow it down?
I will commend Carl for being an opportunist.
So funny.
Oh, man.
He's taken advantage of his crippledness.
And
Yeah,
I
when
mean,
he tells
let's face it,
that
as he
girl.
gets older, he's going to make lots of ladies happy because he's getting in all this practice
Yeah.
as Carl Lingus.
Do you hear
and
his little
he's
voice change? Because he's hitting puberty on the show. His voice is
Yeah,
changing.
yeah.
So
He's
cute.
also-
We can't brush over that. The fact that he's under the stairs at
His
Deb's
little
party.
Harry Potter bedroom.
And that one creepy girl that was like,
so yeah.
I'm going back for seconds. And I was like, oh my god.
What was wrong with her? She was like, I was like, Carl,
needed
you
to
get
get some.
She was all
honey.
messed up on. She was all messed up on the Milk of the Gods beer that Frank is creating.
Or maybe a little Carl Lingus.
Yeah, a little bit of both. She's high on both. That's so
If
funny.
it make you do that,
a
I'm
great
like,
name.
you know.
Well, yeah. So Debs plans this party, and she goes to Sheila's house. And she gets a huge case of Frank's homemade beer, which we know is basically like turpentine.
Yeah.
Like it could clean your house. It's so alcoholic. But she takes it anyway and brings it to the party. Everyone's drunk on this stuff. And when Maddie comes over, she gives him and his friends like 2 big jars of that. So he gets messed up. And I don't know if Debs was drunk, right? She was wobbling.
I don't think she was drinking.
either.
I thought she was wobbling through the house before Maddie showed up.
I think she just walks like that.
No, she got a little funky walk on the show. She do though, like she don't know what to do with her body.
Yeah, I figured because if she were really that drunk, she probably wouldn't have been able to accomplish what she did.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think she
She
seemed
definitely was
pretty
not drunk.
focused. I think she's
Okay.
seemed pretty focused
Okay.
on.
Yeah,
I
she
think
saw
you're
that
right.
condom and it was like red, like meow.
I was just confused for a second,
Yeah.
just seeing that scene as she walked to the door. But you're right. I think she didn't get drunk.
What was that condom called? The
Okay,
Pale Rider?
Pale Rider?
What the hell is
best
that?
All of us at
condoms.
once in the screen.
Buy
room.
pills.
Is that a real
Like,
brand? Like, someone look that up and tell us. I want to know.
Shout out to Pale Rider.
Pale Rider, if you ladies can hear me, is an allusion to a Clint Eastwood film.
Oh.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood.
Interesting.
You know, he's always like this badass kind of guy. Anyway, he's like the solitary cowboy who's kicking butt, of course, as usual.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks for your input.
Didn't know that.
But are they actually something you can buy? Or is it just a...
I mean, maybe we can Google
Maybe.
it.
It's a really nice marketing term.
Okay.
Oh, I thought he was
Wow.
going to say it's a really nice...
I enjoy them a lot.
Like, all right, do your thing.
Used some last night, as a matter of fact.
Here on the show, we like a little TMI. It's good. It's
It
good.
works with the show.
Exactly.
Oh, man. So we see that Maddie's wasted, and she brings Maddie up to her bedroom, and they lie down, they go to sleep, and we see the camera pan over to this unopened condom, and we're like, is she? Isn't she? And
She
then
wouldn't.
a scene later, we see her lying in bed in different clothes, and she's all smiles, and Maddie's passed out. He's passed out, so we're like, did they do it?
Yep.
And then the wrapper is broken, and the condom's gone. and we find out that they actually did have sex.
Which I love the way they did that.
Yeah.
It was so clever
God.
to just like not show anything or
Oh,
just
of course.
be like,
Her dad was like, we're not doing that.
yeah.
No, we're not doing that. You better pan on.
And you know what? Good for them. I mean, they still got the message across. They don't have to, have Emma Rose Kenny do anything.
It's even better that way because we had that moment of not knowing. You know, and if we saw it right away, we'd be like, oh,
The
so it was better.
face
Like,
was enough.
yes, it was awesome.
Yeah. But she was all excited. She was all smiles, wakes up in the morning to a little Post-it note saying, text me, we need to talk.
Her little butterfly.
She thinks it's like
going.
great.
Yeah. She thought she
yeah.
finally got Maddie in the bag, but little does she know that he was like, what the hell did you do last night? Like, did we do it? And she's like, it was wonderful. And to me, I'm like, I know she's so young, but I always knew that she was also wise beyond her years. But in this moment, she was so naive.
So naive.
When they were talking and she couldn't understand that what he was telling her, she couldn't understand why he could go to jail. She couldn't understand what statutory rape was, which of course at 14, that's not the first thing you know.
Yeah. And she couldn't understand either that he could get hard and that didn't mean like yes.
That too.
But she did know about statutory rape, right? Because last year that was part of the issue, that he was...
I don't think it was explained to her.
No, exactly.
No.
Okay. She just wanted to find that orange juice, honey, and be like, I'm a woman.
That was one of my favorite Deb moments
That was a good
all
scene.
time. Like,
she has the best reactions to stuff.
Yeah.
Like I want the Vine video of that one, like over and
so
over.
great.
I didn't have to fall everywhere, though. Like, really? I mean,
She's like,
She's letting loose. She's just let loose.
Exactly.
It's done. The deed is done.
She's like, I'm gonna glass. She's like, F that. I'm taking the bottle.
But you're right. She expected Maddie to have enjoyed that. And she didn't realize that he was, drunk, foobar, like totally unconscious when it happened. So she didn't expect him to wake up and not have enjoyed anything. But that whole scene was kind of heartbreaking for me. I don't know.
I know. I feel bad. He's all, don't call me.
I was a little disappointed, but again, like, she's so innocent. Like, she's still so naive. She still has that mentality that, she doesn't understand all this stuff. And she never talked to Fiona about it because they had that rift for a while. So it's not like Fiona could have explained to her, you should make sure that this person wants to do it with you and consent to it. And it didn't happen that way.
It was out of the many bad lessons that people get from the show, it was actually a good lesson. For any younger girls that are watching the show, it's just you can wait until you're ready. And even if you feel like you need to do it, she's not happy.
Always ask them first too. Make sure they say yeah. Do you want to?
Or at least like,
and that's when you grow on.
No, that's very true. There's consequence to it, and unfortunately it didn't end so well for Debs. And it's nice to know that she told Fiona at the end.
I was just going to say that. I like how Fiona reacted because that's the kind of moment where you don't need someone to yell at you. You're already upset about it. It was good that she
wanted to jump though. She was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But she knew that Debs was kind of struggling with that because peer pressure, and she knew who her friends were, and it was going to happen sooner or later. And now's not the time for Fiona to be a hypocrite.
No.
Exactly. They've all made mistakes.
Anyway.
I know.
Yeah.
And worse.
I thought their moment was very sweet. I liked that there wasn't much conversation. Yeah. It was just a very quiet, like, understanding between two sisters. Mm-hmm. And just as the camera just panned, shot back, and then we saw the widescreen of them just sitting there in the sunset in the background.
That.
It was really a sweet scene.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. And I hope that this means that her and Fiona will have, better bonding this season. Yeah. Now that this is out of the bag. And, Fiona can talk to her more maturely and actually treat her like the adult that she wants to be treated like.
Because she's in that F you mom stage. Leave me alone! She's like right in that.
Exactly.
Did you have one of those?
Girl, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Mom. Love you now.
I think it happens. It's common.
Mom.
Right.
But speaking of Fiona, we see Fiona working today at Patsy's Pies. Mm-hmm. And she gets a visit from Angie again, who tips her $100. And thank you guys in the comments in the last episode. You guys really clarified because I didn't catch it.
I don't know how to miss that one.
Angie was the girl in Jimmy Steve's car she was in the car with Jimmy Steve, her BMW, at the end of last season, and they were checking in on Fiona.
Yeah, me too.
So now that I know that, I'm going into this thinking totally differently about Angie.
Yeah.
Because someone also pointed out that all the questions that she's asking Fiona, like how much do you make? Are you doing okay? She's kind of keeping tabs on her. Those are the things that Jimmy Steve would ask her.
And giving her money.
Giving her money.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know how we missed that one, but yeah.
I know. I'm so mad at myself.
Can I quickly ask, did Dylan McDermott just come out of nowhere when the season started, since I wasn't here? Like was he in the last season?
He was briefly at the end.
Okay, I totally forgot that.
I missed it too.
Because in the first episode, I was like, where did he come from? Okay. All
yeah.
Right. Just want to ask that.
But she's working in the Patsy's Pies, and we see Davis, the hot rock star.
Woo! Happy to see him again.
Yeah, you guys love him.
We are until we figure out that he's such a dick.
Yeah, he really disappointed us this episode.
He's been in the last couple episodes, and we know that he shows up all the time, and he flirts with Fiona at the restaurant. So we figured something was going to happen between them. And tonight, he hands her a flyer for his friend Gus's show at this bar. And he's like, come with me, or, come out with me. And she's like, are you asking me on a date? And you can tell she's kind of excited.
Yeah.
So hot.
But he doesn't say yes.
He doesn't say yes.
He says, I'll be there at 9. See you there.
Meet me there, or see you at 9 or something. Yeah, so we find out he didn't say, it is a date, because when Fiona gets to the bar, we meet this new girl named Gigi, who happens to be Davis's girlfriend that we do not know about. And he didn't know she was going to show up that night.
She stalked him on the friend's Instagram.
I'm like, girl, that's because I saw you on Instagram.
Which is weird, right? Because if you're dating someone, you live with someone, shouldn't you automatically know what their day is going to be like?
That's what I want to know.
Obviously not.
No, because they said that he does this all the time. That's what Gus said. That he does this all the time.
That's true.
I'm sure she just is constantly stalking, knowing that he's
doing
this all the
that
time.
He's like that.
Yeah, because she knew. I mean, she was letting him know that she busts him. That's what she planned one on him right away. And she clearly was eyeing her right. She
already
knew
had
exactly
that,
what was going. Yeah,
look up down for Fiona.
Yeah.
As soon as she walked in the door, she's like,
yep.
Yeah.
Well played, Fiona.
She did do a really good job.
I would have lost it. I would have lost my mind.
Well, I mean, they have no history yet, so she has no right to be like.
Excuse me.
And he didn't say it was a date. So
I've known you for 24 hours.
It's long enough.
But
they have no history, but it's still so wrong.
It is
such
wrong.
a douchebag move.
Cool.
But she played it off. I mean, that was great. That's even better than just walking out.
No, it is.
But Gus is awesome. So now, and that song that we have to Shazam or find out what it was, because I actually liked it a lot.
It was really sweet. But before we get to the song, Gigi was asking who Fiona was to Davis, and he was like, I just Gus's friend. Yeah. And then that's when she turned around and she was like, she kissed him. She's like, we were just talking about moving in together, because she was trying to play off the fact that she was so curious as to, how does Gigi live with Davis? Like, what?
Yeah.
Right. But good things happen in the most unexpected times.
I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, how lucky. I mean, she's got two completely hot guys, like these musicians, and she can't lose in that situation.
3 if Sean comes back.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
Nice little triangle we got
once Jimmy Steve comes back.
And they all know each other from the restaurant.
Yeah.
What a crazy world.
Yes.
Yeah, that could get dangerous, though. She might need to branch them out into different places.
And while we were watching the show, you guys were saying, like, to Fiona, I would have just left. Like, if you were Fiona, you would have just left the bar.
I would watch him make out with her.
Yeah, I would.
I agree with you.
Bye, Felicia.
She was so upset. She wasn't even listening to the jazz.
She doesn't even like jazz.
Apparently Gus is a great bassist, and she's not even paying attention. But I feel like, do you think maybe she was thinking about, these are paying customers, they always come in. If we lose them because of the awkward situation, I won't get. No, you don't think so?
No. I don't think she was thinking that deeply about it at all. I think we've seen Fiona now. She's going out a lot. She's not at home too much anymore. Right. I think she kind of just likes to let loose now. And she was out. I'm gonna stay out, drink.
Exactly.
Free drinks.
Free booze. Having the party anyway. So she's like, I'm just gonna stay out.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I guess I would have left too. Like, realistically, I would have just been
I'd have been home.
This is dumb.
Well, I would have punched
or
him
at least
in the
gone
face.
to a bar down the street. Something. Just sitting right there and seeing it would have been too.
But I'm glad she didn't, because she walked a little way. Excuse me. with Gus, and they ended up setting up some sort of coffee date the next morning. Next morning comes around, the coffee shop's closed, and then he offers to take her back to his place to share some gumbo and
He did it on purpose.
toast. Oh,
Can we have a moment for his beard, though? A moment of silence?
He's so handsome. I'm curious, though. Fiona, I think
And
in the
another moment of
show-
silence, though, for his song.
I mean, can we
It's
please
beautiful.
take a moment and let that sit in your
And a moment
soul?
of silence for his gumbo.
Not talk the rest of the show. Let's just be quiet.
And a moment of silence for his beautiful loft apartment that I love so much.
Oh, yeah. And a moment of silence for the guitar.
And a moment of
we're
silence for
done.
when she decided to kiss him. Now we're done.
Yeah.
And a moment of silence where he's like, you never experienced music to die for? No, I haven't. Oh.
Yeah, after he brings her over, he asks her, he tries to get to know her. He's like, first of all, we find out that he comes from a family of musicians. He seems really educated. He knows how to play so many instruments. And he tries to get to know Fiona, and he asks her, like, what do you listen to? And she's just like, nothing.
I can't believe she
Yeah,
said that.
I know.
Well, which is true, right?
Right.
I mean,
They
Dance
don't
to,
wanna-
no, they
yeah.
dance to pop music in their living room all the time. Every time they decide to have a family party,
true,
which
that's
isn't
true.
But I
too
don't think
much.
they're not really, I guess they're not
Yeah,
really
they're
paying
not.
yeah, it's not
attention.
like she goes out and finds new music or decides that she wants to listen to jazz
It's like, oh, what
and
is
try to
she
get
an
into
iPod
it.
on the way to work? Then I'm thinking, an iPod? Where the hell is she going to get money for a damn iPod?
So, I mean,
She has an iPhone.
Oh,
True.
True.
but not
iTunes
not
It's a technicality.
not a computer.
Just saying.
And he's kind of surprised by this. And he's like, I would die without music. I can't believe it. And she goes, well, play me something that I would die for. Lo and behold, he literally sang to her. Like, the words he sang spoke to her. They were exactly her life. Like, if you listen to the lyrics about, you know, your mom being a fake and...
Hiding behind a smile.
What I love though is
Yeah.
it like went to like, I mean that could have been a romantic comedy scene, right? But like with them, it still like keeps the same. It has such weight to it. Like it, I don't know. They're so good at playing such little subtle moments that
Yeah.
you know could be cheesy or could come off like really like he's gonna play her song
And I was
music
like,
to
is
die
he
for.
really playing? Because I know how actors get those roles, play his guitar. And I was like, is he singing for real?
I wasn't paying attention because I was getting
I
the
think
chills.
he was.
I know.
I think he was too.
I think he was singing.
Yeah, I so too.
I was lost in the beard.
I think
but-
he was
For my
singing.
soul, I hope it's him.
Yeah, I think he was singing. I don't know about the guitar playing. I wasn't paying attention, but for sure that was
He
his
held like
voice.
a chord, like he just held it, and I was like, "Is this finger moving?" All right, whatever.
But just like we said, we would be like sold after 2 lines.
Oh, yeah.
Fiona was sold,
yeah.
and she actually kissed him not under the guise of trying to, you know, fool Gigi, but just because
Yeah.
she actually felt like maybe this is someone she could trust. Like he clearly understands maybe someone with this life. If he wrote that song, then he knows people who probably had those lives. Maybe he's had that life. So
Yeah,
Her reaction was
words.
awesome.
Am I
Her
right?
reaction was great.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
yeah,
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 it's
that's
like
right. She
2
did say
lines
that.
of that, and my clothes are Houdini, honey. It's like, work it.
So guys that play guitar, leave a comment.
Yeah.
Right?
Leave a comment on YouTube.
12 points for anyone that can name that weird instrument
Yeah,
that
yeah,
he first
please.
talked about.
He said it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gienza.
It was a Chinese instrument. He did say it. I meant to write it down, but I missed it.
It was a good try. It's a very good try.
I know, girl. I'm trying.
He just needed to sell it a little more.
Exactly. I'm on Gienza.
Yeah, with confidence, and it's totally different.
That's not what it's called. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is.
Well, I hope we're going to see some more of Gus next episode. We've got some
hope
good
so.
lines
For
from
sure.
him in the previews. I mean, he says he loves Fiona. He's falling in love with Fiona.
Oh, that's right.
He's
Yeah, I
fast.
like him like that.
Yeah.
Passionate, a little crazy. Just I
But
love
he
you.
seems like out of all of the guys that she's been with, he seems so normal.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the whole thing, you know, what's his name? Mike's brother.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, his name. I'm blanking on
Bobby?
his name. Robbie.
Robbie.
Oh.
When Robbie told her, I'm an addict, you're an addict, everyone's an addict, you're addicted to this crazy life, and this crazy lifestyle.
Yeah,
I
I,
wonder
forgot about
if,
him.
Yeah, me
you know,
too.
that's kind of in the predictions realm, but if maybe Gus is too normal for her. I hope that doesn't happen again, you know?
She needs a little Jimmy Steve.
But
little
I think
age.
he's
That's how it's ending. I mean, come on.
I think he's edgy enough to keep her interested. So
And Gus, I'm available. Wherever you are.
and if he
have
understands
to
her
get
like
him in
his
here.
song says, then maybe they've got some good stuff in their future. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe not marriage yet.
We
but
shall see.
Yes,
Yeah.
we shall see.
Speaking of marriage, Sheila and Frank,
Oh.
their
boy.
silly, crazy union. It's so funny because they're bickering and fighting like like real couples would, like real married couples would, about, oh, you don't listen to me, I want to travel, I want to do this. But their relationship is so dysfunctional and insane. And we know that Frank doesn't love Sheila.
No.
They're having this huge argument because Sheila wants to sell the house to the two Lisas.
Sheila is just so freaking cute, though. I mean, let's talk about her being in a new dress, new hair, got her makeup done at Sephora.
That was awesome.
The best. When that line came up, all of us were like, oh my God. We've all been there.
done it.
We've all been there.
I'm like, hello. I said hello.
So funny. But yeah, she wants to sell the house. Frank doesn't want to because he finally has some sort of business plan with his Milk of the Gods. Plus, where else is he going to go?
Right,
You know,
yeah.
that's been his home, and they're married, and you know.
I liked seeing Sheila, though, when she stood up to him and was like, you know, I'm going to go. I'm going to get this whether you want to come with me or not.
She wants to buy the RV with the money.
Yeah, and so she didn't back down.
No,
Until
she
later,
did not.
but at
Well,
first, she was
Right.
until he lied to her and wants to renew the vows. But at first, she was like, "No, you know, I'm going, and I'd like you to go. But if you don't go, I'm going."
Right.
Yeah.
which was good for her.
I agree.
for her.
And we see Frank sort of getting desperate because he believes that she's going to actually do this.
Yeah.
So what does he do? He tries to appeal to her sympathy and just say, no, I need to be near my doctors. I need to be near my kids, my family. Everything I have is here. And he's like, we could travel all you want, whenever you want, but we'll just come back to this nest that we created.
And then he has
That we
another-
created.
Yeah, exactly.
Her house,
All right, Frank.
Exactly.
Right.
He's trying
You
to
created the basement.
manipulate her.
Exactly.
Yeah. And destroyed it.
Let's also talk about. I know we're running short of time. Let's briefly talk about how he whored out his own daughter.
Yep, he did. He hoarded
Sammy.
out Sammy so that he can get that
Tansy.
extra big tin for his brewery.
The nice socks.
That was cute.
His name is Hansy. He's Muslim. He's got a nice little,
Yeah.
I don't know, black market business going on.
And Hansy's just trying to get a Hansy,
Yeah.
you know?
Hansy ends up a footsie.
I
At the end.
Oh my gosh, yes.
We were both mistaken though because we both were like, "Oh, this is gonna. They're gonna actually hit it off, and they're gonna
Right.
be
For sure.
Oh, no, he was-
ongoing
well,
thing."
because
No.
he just wanted to get laid, and she wants someone who's
Now she
caring
wants
and
to turn
normal.
around.
Yeah.
They're
30,
so totally
40
different.
dudes.
And yeah,
Girl, you be getting it.
so crazy. Well, Sheila just says, you know, Frank, all right, I believe you. When Ernie comes back with the RV, I'm going to tell him to turn right back around. So as soon as Ernie comes back with the RV, we know that Hansy's in the basement trying the Milk of the Gods. And we know that Frank sort of upgraded his whole system so that it's faster and he's using
More gas.
more gas.
And they said it was really hot in there.
It was really
when they
hot
were
in
there.
there. Signs of danger.
Yeah.
Red flags everywhere.
Yeah.
So when they're outside, and we know that Sammy finds out that she was being whored out by Frank. She comes out. She gets into a fight between Frank, Sheila, and herself. It's like this huge dramatic ordeal. And you know, before the house blows up, Frank finally tells how he really feels about Sheila and Sammy.
Why did he do it?
Which is
Wow.
so, which I was like, holy crap, that scene was amazing. William H. Macy,
Yes.
I love him. But he told Sammy that he thinks she's slutty and she has very bad hygiene.
And she's
for
needy.
She's needy. And for Sheila, she's lumpy
whack
and he
job.
can't stand her
Yeah.
complicated cooking.
Unreasonable.
Frank, yeah.
Complicated cooking.
I mean,
Right.
he's,
like
like
such a
finally
jerk.
the truth comes out. Like he's been basically just handling and what's the word I'm looking for? He's tolerating all this stuff so that he can have a place to live and to run his
And then
silly
Sheila
business.
says, bye,
Yeah.
Felicia.
Well, yeah, and as soon as that happens, her house explodes.
They did such a good job of building that too, because when they first started fighting down in the basement, I thought they were gonna knock that over, and then that was gonna cause I didn't think the house
Fire or
was gonna
something,
explode, but yeah, I thought a fire was gonna
threw me off,
start
the
or
whole house
something.
exploding. I was
But
like,
yeah, I
wow.
didn't see that one.
My
coming
face
at
was like,
all.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, what are they going to do? Where are they going to live? Oh, but she sold the house. And then Ernie came back with the RV at that exact time, and Sheila just gets into the RV by herself, takes the keys, and
Love it.
drives away. Finally getting what she wants.
Yeah,
Love it.
I love to see that too. It was
Yeah.
It took her house to explode for
Yeah.
her to finally just do it.
The lesbians at the
Yeah.
end were hilarious. They're
Oh,
like, oh,
yeah.
look, now we don't have to pay for demolition.
Yeah, that's the whole. That's exactly. But they've got a dead guy on their land.
The lesbians, real quick, are great because Carl tried to do. We didn't talk about, but tried to
that's
do
true.
scaring them out of the neighborhood, and I
Right,
love
and
them
that
coming
did
over and
not.
like, we don't scare easily.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Bye-bye.
Lisa and Lisa.
Yeah.
Carl's goal for this episode was to scare them off, and they're not going anywhere.
No.
No, they're not.
That's so funny.
But we need to.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, we have to say congratulations to William H. Macy first. He won a SAG award tonight.
Yes.
For outstanding male performance in a comedy.
Much deserved.
And let's talk about how beautiful. I don't know if you guys saw Emmy Rossum's dress though, but she looked
she's
amazing.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Shout out to the Virgos.
Yeah.
I love it. And her Cartier necklace that she shared on Instagram, I was like, I want that.
Someday, girl.
One day. But I'm so excited for William H. Macy. He deserves it.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's phenomenal on Shameless.
Yeah, he's insane.
The whole show, everybody on that show, definitely deserves a lot more. I don't know how it hasn't just gotten so
it's underrated
it
for
totally
sure.
is. Yeah. Such a great show.
I agree. Cool. Do you guys have anything else to add about the episode before we move on to predictions?
No.
Nothing? All right, let's go on to predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz.
I love this.
My favorite.
Okay, I'm so excited because I finally have one.
Okay,
I
go.
never had
I
it, but I got one tonight.
JJ, you
so
start.
I think Sheila, along her way, is going to run into Karen and bring them back because they're off, you know. So I think she's going to bring them back in the RV.
But where are they going to live in the RV, you think? Or is she going to stay where Karen is?
I don't know. That's all I got.
I'm sorry. I had to.
I'm really kidding you with me.
I'm like, I got one for once. Come on.
That's awesome.
It's a good one. It's a good one because I didn't even think about it during the show. Oh.
Hilarious.
Didn't mean to burst your bubble, but that's a good one.
She's like,
and
and
then
okay, but
I think she's gonna do some sightseeing too, and then bring Karen back. For
of course. You can't take away Joan Cusack.
It's
She
her
better
baby.
come back.
she's gonna be back soon.
Get her family.
She's gonna
together.
be-
We need her.
I hope we see her on like those little stupid road trips she wanted to go to. Like there was like a cheese farm or like something like crazy.
Well, she'll
send
Like
postcards-
California.
she'll send
spa
postcards
where
to
they
the Gallagher.
smack you.
Yeah, with palms or
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get little clips
that'll be
of
funny.
her. What about you, Hayley? What do you think's gonna happen next?
I don't know. I'm still waiting for Jimmy Steve to come back.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
But now, like you pointed out, I didn't put that 2 and 2 together with Angie, and so she'll be back. I think eventually that can't go any further than him finally showing up. So I hope he comes back.
Yeah,
But I don't think it's next episode, but a couple from now.
Oh yeah.
I'm interested to see what's going to happen with V and Kev with the cheating, maybe not cheating. That's going to break my freaking heart.
Yeah.
But I want to see what's going to happen with that. I'm hoping she just kind of did a little dry humping and then that's it.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's cheating or not.
Yeah.
Going off on that,
Personal opinion.
True that.
we can talk. I'm gonna go with cheating, but we'll go into that next time.
How drunk were you? No.
Well, going off on V and Kev, I feel like maybe this season's gonna be V's downfall. You know, maybe that's really gonna set it off, and Kevin's gonna be like, "What the hell? Like, I'm over this. Like, I'm taking care of the kids."
Right.
And I think Jimmy C is gonna come back this season, and I think Gus is gonna be the perfect guy for Fiona for a while until he shows up, and
Until she decides he's too good.
she's gonna be in
off
like
to the next
she's
one.
gonna be in like a love octagon by the end. By the time he shows up.
Exactly.
I don't know. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. That's it for our episode 3 recap for Shameless. Until next week, you guys can keep in touch with us on social media. JJ, where can everyone find you?
I am at JJ Jurgens on Twitter.
I am at Hayley Clover on Twitter and Hayley Clover on Instagram.
I'm at Drea Renee _N on Instagram and Twitter.
Cool. And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JJ Ajouri. That's JAJOURI. Thank you so much for watching again. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.